The World Pool Championship is ablaze in Manila, but the Iceman can take the heat. Kuo Cheng is Chinese Taipei's last man standing, while the Bustamantes take on Daryl and Carl Boyes. Django and the Shark will clash cues with the Englishmen. It's the penultimate day of the competition. This thriller in Manila is about to see a winner. It's another beautiful day in Metro Manila, and it's going to be a big, big day here at the 2007 World Pool Championship. 8 of the best players in the world are about to rock the Araneta Coliseum. And this is Fyodor play on day 8 for the quarterfinals. On table 1, Daryl against Francisco Bustamante. Kuo Cheng in an all-Asian matchup with Roberto Gomez of the Philippines. And over on table 2, an all-European matchup between Mika Immonen and Vilmos Foldes. The other Bustamante, Jovan Bustamante, the younger one, against Carl Boyes. Hi everyone, I'm Uday Joshi and you're watching the 2007 World Pool Championship live right here on ESPN. We're at the business end of the tournament. Today we play the quarterfinals and the semifinals. As I said, we have the 2 Bustamantes against the 2 Brits, Francisco against Daryl and Jovan against Carl Boyes, and of course an all-European matchup between Mika Immonen and Vilmos Foldes, and an all-Asian matchup between Kuo Cheng and Roberto Superman Gomez. Now, if you missed any of the past few days' action, here's a quick recap. Okay, the first match on feature table number 1 is Daryl Peach against the local favorite Francisco Bustamante. The Brit overcoming Harold Stalker in the last 16 and of course Lee Kun Fang in the last 32. Hi everyone, at this point in time I'd like to introduce my guests in the studio. Pat Holtz from Scotland, Anthony Suntai, the local favorite. Guys, the first match on feature table 1, we have Daryl Peach against Francisco Bustamante. We've seen Francisco on TV table number 1. Daryl Peach, what should we expect from him?
You want to start with that, Pat? He's your guy.
I mean, Daryl's come through. He had a tough opening. He put out the defending champion Alcano, and that was a very good victory, and it gave him a good boost of confidence. He's followed that up with another 2 fine wins, so he'll be really up against it today. Bustamante's been one of the hot favourites for this event, and he's shown why he's class throughout this event. And I'll just pass it on to you. How do you feel?
You know, actually looking at this particular match, this is a match made in heaven, really, because Pat and I have been talking about this the entire week, about these two people really on a roll. Both of them, like, you know, nobody can stop these two guys, but unfortunately, they're going to have to meet each other here in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And something's really got to give. Django Bustamante is feeling so comfortable here in this tournament. In fact, he was telling me that the only person he actually feared in this competition and in his bracket was really Alex Pagulayan.
Oh.
And so after he got past Alex, he said, you know, things should be easier. And then he looked up at the draw and said, you know what? It would have been easier if I was facing the German instead of facing Daryl Peach, because Daryl Peach is also on a roll. And so, unfortunately, for these two gentlemen who are really on a roll, their campaign is going to end today for one of them.
And of course, the both of you did tell me that Daryl Peach is one of the dark horses of this tournament. Our Georgina Chang is right now standing by with Daryl Peach and Francisco Bustamante.
Well, it's the quarterfinals, but I can tell you just before this match, both players were pretty relaxed. Daryl Peach was having a coffee, chatting with his mates, and Django was outside talking to some people and joking with me as I came in. All right, let's start off with you first, Django. Now, you were in the finals in 2002 against Earl Strickland, but the Filipinos have had to wait a long time before they can see you go as far as the quarterfinals. What do you think has made the difference for you in this breakthrough this year?
Well, you know, this time, because before I break so hard, so I got no every time shot, you know, but this time I find it a good break, so I hope it's working and make me to be in the top 8, you know, and I hope I will be continue to be in the finals.
Okay, so the secret is in the break. Now, you've played against Daryl Peach a few times. How did that go, and do you know what to expect?
Well, you know, he's a great player. He's dangerous, and I have to be careful against him. And well, you know, it's 9 ball. Everybody can win, you know.
Yeah, everybody can win. All right, we'll see you in a bit, Django. All right, Daryl. Now, this is fantastic for you. You're through to the quarterfinals, and you've been in such a sizzling form this year. And I think it kind of started when you beat Ronnie Alcano, the defending champion.
Yeah, that's right. I really had nothing to lose. I came in here, everybody was thinking that I was going to get beat, and who's this guy? You know, nobody had hardly ever seen me, so the pressure was off a little bit, and I played a good game, and a few things went my way, a few rolls, and I came out a winner, and it's gave me a lot of confidence, so I'm hoping it carries on through.
Okay, and today you're taking on Django Bustamante, so what do you think, and what can we expect?
Well, I think there's another English guy still in the tournament called Carl Boys, and he plays Jovan Bustamante, and I asked him before, I says, do you fancy swapping opponents, because you know, he's a bit good. But we had a little joke. Everybody in the English camp says 2 Bustamantes don't make a right, but you know, but anyway, but we'll just see what happens. I'm going to try and enjoy the match and carry on playing as I have been.
Okay, all right, all the best, and we'll see a really fun quarterfinal in just a while. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Georgina. Of course, you just heard Daryl Peach say he'd rather play the younger Jovan Bustamante. Now, I don't have to ask our panelists who they're going for, but some last thoughts as to Bustamante and what he should look out for against Daryl Peach.
Well, you know, before anything else, you know, I'd like to look at it from an overall perspective, Uday, more than anything else. And I'm going to throw this over to our friend over here, Pat. It's because, you know, these two players have been actually playing in the latter parts of the day. When I say that, I'm talking about late in the afternoon, sometimes in the early evenings, sometimes even in the late evenings. And so they've been prepared for that all throughout the week. And all of a sudden now, you throw this into the mix when they come in. They play very early in the morning. From a player's perspective, does that change your mindset? That's what I'm worried about for both these players. I feel whoever's able to quickly adjust to the time zone is the one going to be able to win this one. How do you feel?
Yeah, both players had late matches last night, so they'll be up early and they'll be hopefully fresh. Sometimes it's tough adjusting, as you say, but whoever gets out the block first I feel I have a good advantage here.
Okay, that match is upcoming between Daryl Peach and Francisco Bustamante. We're going for a short break right now here at the Whirlpool Championship, but do stick around because the first quarterfinal match is coming up. Well, the ultimate experience for Whirlpool fans that is right here inside the Araneta Coliseum for the quarterfinal match between Daryl Peach and Francisco Django Bustamante. Let's join our MC, John McDonald.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the wonderful Araneta Coliseum, the home of the thriller in Manila. It's the 2007 Philippines Whirlpool Championships, presented by San Miguel and Padcor, promoted by Matchroom Sport and Raya Sports, and sanctioned by the WPA. And a very warm welcome to the millions of viewers joining us here on ESPN and Sky Sports. Well, it's quarter-final stages, a race to 11, winner breaks. The referee, Mr. Nigel Rees, is ready to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, would you please welcome from Blackpool in England, it's Razzle Dazzle, Daryl Peach! And ladies and gentlemen, the people's champion from the Philippines, it's Django Francisco Bustamante!
Well, we're looking forward to this one. Of course, there is no such thing as a soft touch when you reach the last 8 of the Whirlpool Championship. You can understand Daryl Peach's philosophy of wanting to try and avoid Francisco Bustamante if you possibly could. The Dazzler has had a fabulous run, knocking off Ronnie Alcano, the defending champion. Really was the catapult for him. He then took out the former finalist Lee Kun Fang, and in comparison, Harry Stolke was a relative walk in the park for him. So that's how he's booked his way to the last 8. Francisco Django, to his friends and indeed to everybody in the world of pool, a runner-up, never the champion, has looked good in getting through the last 3 matches. The Nick Vandenberg match was a tough one, but the battle with his old friend and rival Alex Pagulayan never quite panned out because Bustamante handed out a thrashing. And with winners staying on, so important that you get this part of the game right. Win the lag, you've got a chance of grabbing the early initiative.
Francisco Bustamante wins the lag.
Yeah, certainly. Getting the break off is a vital part to this game now, especially the way the TV table has been
First
breaking
rack,
this week.
Race to 11, winner breaks.
Whoever seems to get off to a good start certainly put the pressure on their opponent, and this man here has been really flying all week. The only really tough match he's had was the Vandenberg game, who pushed him. But other than that, he's not been tested much. And I feel like Daryl trying to get out of the blocks early.
Well, there goes the wing ball. Yes, it really would be. It would be an emotional win if Francisco Bustamante can take this title. Pagulayan's won it. The great Efren Reyes has won it, of course. Ronnie Alcano last year. But for Django, who is such a wonderful ambassador for this sport and hugely admired and respected throughout the world of pool, if he could win it in his hometown, that really would be special.
Yeah, it reminds me of, he's like the Jimmy White of snooker. He's like a people's champion. Everybody loves him, everybody wants to see him do well. And as Nick says, this would be the crowning moment of his career, especially in his hometown.
That is a very good analogy. Just like Jimmy White, he's one of those people, you can't find anyone that's got a bad word to say about the guy.
No. He's got a lot of time for everybody around the game, speaks to the fans, always signing autographs, taking pictures, and no one has got a bad word to say about him. Very friendly guy.
Got a nice run of balls off the break.
Yeah, Django, he seems to have mastered this soft break. He normally plays with a power break. He's got one of the hardest hitters in the game. But he's utilised, he's watched all the rest of the players play this soft break, and he seems, for me, he seems to be one of the players who've really mastered it this week. A lot of them have struggled with it. They're under hitting the break and they're getting clusters, but each time he breaks, the ball seems to just spread out nicely.
Yes, I think it's been a while since we've seen a hard break on this table. Everybody worked out a long time ago, for whatever reason, this table is just taking the soft break. And people have had to adjust accordingly. We had Carl Boyes on the table yesterday. So he's never done a soft break. But
No.
he looked at this table and said, well, I've got to.
Well, everybody's used to breaking hard wherever, what events they go to. I mean, it's very unusual for a table to break so easily. So for a lot of the players, this is all new ground for them.
Little nudge on the 9. So Bustamante up and running. First blood in this race to 11. Daryl Peach waits in his chair. Everybody knows Bustamante. What do we know about Europe's current number 2, the man from Blackpool?
My nickname is the Dazzler, and a couple of friends gave me that. Back in England, it's like a shortened version of Daryl is Daz, and then it moved to the Dazzler because I used to play quite dazzling, you know, when I was younger. Maybe not so much these days, but yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed by it, but it's a good nickname. Yeah, one of my strong points in my game is my focus and concentration. I might not have the ultimate ability like some players, but one thing I do work on and I practice it a lot is trying to focus and keep my concentration, and that's what wins me matches usually. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably put myself a 9 below the real big guns like Efren Reyes, Bustamante, Alex Pagulayan, because they have played a lot more tournaments worldwide. But I'm still gaining the experience. I'd put myself a 9, I think. Losing, I hate losing. Yeah, I don't like losing. I'm really competitive in everything that I do, and for the first time coming into the World Championships, I am showing a little bit of form. So I'm not saying I'm going to win it, you know, but stranger things have happened.
There's a quiet confidence about Daryl Peach. He doesn't run his mouth. He doesn't say he's going to do this, he's going to do that.
Bustamante to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
But he's got a lot of self-belief. He's going to need it in this one.
Yeah, he's grown in stature over the last year and a half. He's risen to number 2 in the Euro Tour rankings. He's had a great season, and I've been watching a lot of his matches this week, and he's really focused. And as you say, he's been working on his concentration. That's one of his biggest aspects of his game, and that's the thing you want to have at this stage. You keep your concentration and focus, and another fine break off there.
Yeah, Daryl's going to need to keep that focus because it could be a little while before he gets out of his seat, and you know, he might be 4 or 5 racks adrift the way Bustamante is breaking at the moment.
You see the difference here between Bustamante's break and the others that have been playing the soft break. When he breaks the balls, everything splits well out. When other players have been breaking, there have been clusters everywhere, and it's been made it a lot harder for them to put a lot of racks together. But Bustamante, through this tournament, he's put a lot of 6 and 5 packs together, and he's really kept those players sitting in their chair.
It was Bustamante in the last round against Nick Vandenberg that was the man that had to sit and wait 26 minutes as he watched Vandenberg put together 4 finely constructed racks, and then Vandenberg's luck finally ran out, and Nick was then stuck in his seat for about 40 minutes as Francisco came in and said, you want 4? Okay, I'll give you 7, and he just ran off 7.
Yeah, such a vitality and depth in this tournament this year.
And I think Daryl's going to have to do this, you know. There's that temptation, isn't there, when you're up against a great player and he gets off to a fast start. Let's say Bustamante puts 4 or 5 up. When Daryl gets up, there is that temptation that you're going to snatch at it, but you've just got to take that chance and be calm and steady. And I think Daryl is one of those people who will be right mentally when the chance comes.
Yeah, he is a very patient guy. He'll sit and he'll wait for his opportunity. He had to do the same in the Alcano match earlier on in the week, and he put a few good racks together in that match, put the pressure on Ronnie, and managed to see it out to the end.
It's strange the way the draw came together, isn't it? It's the Blackpool boys versus the Bustamantes.
That's right, yeah.
Francisco and Jovan, not related. And how about Daryl and Carl Boys, both coming from the same town in England? Most amazing coincidence. Could be an all Bustamante final. It could be an all Blackpool special. Oh, now what happened there? That came out of the blue.
Yeah, I've been speaking to a few players this week, and people have commented about how Bustamante, when he's in his flow, it does tend to lose some concentration at times, at crucial moments. And back in 2003, Bustamante was 10-5 in front of Torsten Homan in the quarterfinals. Missed a relatively easy pot, and Torsten come back to beat him 11-10, go on and win the title.
Well, this is a gift. What a terrific break for Daryl Peach. Bustamante going to sleep on the 8th ball. Daryl said, well, you don't want it, I'll take it. 1-1. Tough to say that this sport's got a Roger Federer. Nobody quite dominates the way a Federer does in tennis.
No, there's a lot of luck factor involved with pool. With tennis, it's just all skill.
A few net calls here and there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Back three. Daryl Peach to break. 1-1.
I don't think there's anything to do with luck. When Bustamante missed that 8 ball, it was just a tiny little dip in concentration. But the warning sign has been flashed for Daryl. Bustamante is breaking beautifully. So it's vital that Daryl gets his break going early.
It's funny you should mention tennis here, Nick. Daryl Peach has actually got on the butt of his cue for a bit of grip. He's got a tennis grip at the butt of his cue. He's done that especially himself. He says it's very comfortable. We see Daryl's break off, which has been very impressive all week in all tables.
Yeah, it's 1 and 2 gone. And a nice clean look at the 3. Not ideal, but he should be able to get something done with this. And does.
Yeah, his nice position there on the pink 4.
Yeah, looking ahead, assuming position on the 5, assuming he does manage to get a decent... There is that grip you were talking about. Watch out, Federer. Daryl Peach is on your trail. I fancy Daryl on a pool table against Federer. He'd have no chance.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure how good Roger is at this sport.
He's probably really good at this as well.
Yeah.
Daryl's making it look easy here. He's got a chance to take this rack to love. There's a little support group for Daryl Peach as well. I mean, obviously this is a Filipino house, but there's a little cluster of Brits are grouped behind the chair of Daryl Peach, including, shock of shocks, a Scotswoman.
Yeah, my partner Shirley's out there cheering on Daryl today. I've been with him all week, giving him some support, along with his friend Craig Osborne and Des Morley from FlexiRest.
So he's got some cheerleaders in the house as Daryl Peach. Didn't need him there, did he? Break and run out. Nice.
Yeah, Daryl looks very focused again this morning. Just gets out his little bit of sandpaper, rubs down his cue ready for the next one. And here we see a rerun of the last frame there. That one just creeped in the centre pocket there. But apart from that, no trouble at all.
Yeah, they all count. They all went down. There is that support group. There's Shirley on the right. There's the rest of the peach, the bunch of peaches.
Yeah, a peach contingent there in the corner. And are slightly outnumbered there by the Filipinos.
Just a little. It's a good job this is one of the most friendly places you could ever come. These people kill you with kindness.
Yeah. I've been around the world to many different locations, and I can tell you the Filipinos are right up there with the best of them for friendliness.
Don't know how popular Daryl will be if he does a number on Francisco here, though. Long, long way to go. Still a race to 11.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Filipinos, they appreciate good pool, and they're very knowledgeable about the game. It seems like everyone in the country plays pool over here. They start when they're very young, and they play till they're very old. And that's what's great about the game of pool. You don't need to be a certain sort of age like a footballer. You're 30 in your mid-30s and you're finished. Pool, you can keep on going and going as long as your eyesight's there and you're in good health.
Bustamante's testament to that. And Efren Reyes, despite a disappointing World Pool Championship, still the governor.
Yeah, Daddy's got a trickle at home here. Good cue ball control and pace.
This.
Oh, needed to miss that green 6 there. He just caught it in the way past and he's snookered behind the blue 2.
Not sure if you can see a little edge of it. There's certainly a one rail escape. And I think
Yeah, there we are. That's
yeah, he's got a piece of this.
they're looking to try and hide the cue ball over on the right hand side of the table. Try and send the 2 ball close to the black 8 and get behind the brown 7 with the white. This is a tricky little number, this. He's just got too much into the 2 ball there. I feel he was trying to cannon onto the black 8 and hold it in that position.
Well, he's married it up to the 9 ball, but I'm not sure he's married it up sufficiently that Bustamante can't thread the needle here, you know.
Yeah, it looks pretty tight. Not sure from our screen here if it passes here. We see that shot from Daryl. He just caught the 2 ball a little bit too thick. I don't think that 2 ball will go past the 9. Because if it did, I think Bustamante would have been down there shooting it a lot quicker.
It's tight though, isn't it? It's one of those that you look at it first time and go no, then you look at it a second time and go maybe, and then come back and take another look. Let's see.
Well, he's putting a lot of draw on the cue ball here. Yeah, it did go.
It did, but he didn't make it. Now has he played a 2-way?
He's got a good roll there.
Yeah, he'll take that.
A little bit fortunate in that one to miss the pot.
I'm not sure he played a 2-way. That's what he got.
Yeah, definitely got away with it there. Here we see it again. He was trying to control that cue ball for the pink 4. He did go on the pink 4, but he missed the pot. Hit the near side knuckle, the centre pocket, and he got a nice roll there. And Daryl just wondering if he can get past the black 8 onto the bottom rail and kick that 2 up table. There we see your angle there. And the reason why he wants to come the bottom rail first is because he can put a lot of distance between the cue ball and object ball, whereas if he comes across the side rail If he comes this way, he may leave the ball on, whereas if he tries it coming past the black 8 and kick it up table, send that 2 up there, you can see from that camera angle, it looks very tight. You'll need to put a lot of English on the cue ball.
Yeah, this is a big shot.
He's caught it too thick.
Yeah, way too thick. So the door blows wide open for Bustamante.
Now we see that shot again. He just didn't get in enough for it. Played it a little bit on the slower side. And he's given Francisco an opening here.
Well, just twice he's missed in that pocket. Again, he's got very lucky.
Yeah, he's been fortunate again.
He's using up a lot of his fortune here, isn't he, in this rack?
Yeah, and the pool gods will remember that. They certainly always used to.
That's the old Steve Davis line, isn't it? The balls remember.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had 2 goes at this blue and missed it both times, and both times got away with it.
I think we might see Daryl try to kick off this off 2 rails. Come off the near side rail here. Try and come behind the blue 2 and kick it back down table. And that's a better contact there from Daryl.
What's he going to get? Is he going to get lucky? That's a very nice shot.
Yeah.
I think it might just be sticking its nose out. It's not a complete snooker, I don't think, but it's good enough that it's going to put Bustamante under some pressure. He's not left anything on for him.
We see that shot again. Nice contact on the blue 2, sending it back down table.
That's just how you dialed it up, wasn't it, Pat?
Yeah, that was exactly what he was looking for there.
Yeah, there's the contact for Bustamante, and as he managed to cover it up, I think Daryl can comfortably see the edge of this, you know.
I'm just wondering if he can see enough. There you see it is just slightly off the cushion. I'm just wondering if Daryl can see enough of this, because if he can see the left hand side of the 2 ball, he's got a possible 2-way shot, a bank shot and a safety. It looks tight from that angle.
Very tight.
May be able to use a little bit of left hand English on the cue ball. Spin it slightly around the brown 7, and when the cue ball contacts object ball, actually transfers that spin and creates a different angle for the 2 balls. So or will he elect to just play the safety? Yeah, he's going for the safer option, trying to bring the cue ball back behind the 6.
Well, there's blocking balls all over the road, but has he left a chance? Has he left something there? Does that ball thread?
I think he's left that one there. Yeah, you can just see it from Daryl's face. A little wry smile. Yeah, there we can see it.
Again, he's unlucky. There's only a narrow little channel, and Daryl's plonked the ball right smack in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's frustrating at times when that happens.
Oh.
But will this be 3rd time lucky for Bustamante on this 2 ball? We've already seen he's missed 2 glaring opportunities.
This looks like it might be the easiest of the 3 of them, though, Pat. It's easy to say from the commentator's chair.
Well, it doesn't really need to do much with the cue ball, so he just needs to concentrate and pocket in the 2.
There we go.
The pool gods did remember.
Hey, didn't they just?
He's got an unfortunate roll that time.
Yep. You can have the 2, Django, but we're not giving you the 4.
And they see that
There you go.
contact.
Yeah. It's amazing, that old adage, you know, they say when there's contact with another ball on the table, 9 times out of 10 it's bad. And it is.
Django just needs to be a little bit careful here. Someone distract him in the crowd there. Yeah, someone's...
Yeah.
Turn the flash off.
Oh, someone's got a camera out with a flash.
No flash, please. Turn the flashes off. Take a minute.
Yes, that's an I mean, obviously no player wants to have a flash going off in the middle of a shot, for goodness sake, but that's as irritated as I think I've ever seen Francisco Bustamante. The most easygoing guy, but he was really rattled by that. It's a mark of how much pressure there is on him in this match.
Yeah, the
It's
hopes.
a good sign for Daryl, you know.
Yeah, it is. The hopes of a nation are resting on that guy's shoulder. Although he's got 2 other younger friends still left in the tournament, he's the more experienced of them all, and a lot of people will be looking up for him to do well. And I really want to be doing well for himself anyway.
Yeah.
We want to take a title on home soil.
Yes, of those other 2, Jovan, his namesake, he's the guy that nobody can quite work out how he's got here. But he hasn't fluked it. And Roberto Gomez has been unplayable.
Well, Roberto Gomez is actually come through the qualifying school to reach this stage, and what fantastic results he's had along the way. So you can't write off his chances either. Now we see the attempted bank shot by Daryl.
He's got away with one here.
Yeah, he just caught that one a little too thick, but he got a nice little roll off a green 6. He's not left an easy one there for Bustamante. It's a nervous sort of start here from both players, and both feeling the tension a little. They know how important it is to go off to a good lead, especially with the way the balls are breaking.
It's funny how the tension level just ratchets right up when you get to the quarterfinals, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
all of them are looking at the board and going, there's only 7 other guys in this. I've got a shot at this.
that's right. And they know that 3 more victories and they're the champion.
I think from 16 and beyond, you never quite believe it. But you get down to the last 8, you better believe it. You have a chance. And Daryl Peach has a chance right here.
Yeah, Bustamante looks a little bit rattled early doors. He was he knew that Peach was going to be a tougher opponent than Stolka.
That just about slid in there.
And he's got a good nice angle on this orange 5 to bring the cue ball back out table for a 6.
Well, if Peach can clean up here, finish this job, that'll be another huge boost for his confidence, because you kind of tend to think when you're up against a Francisco Bustamante, when it's a messy one and you're fighting the thing, you'd expect the guy that's the better overall player to pull through. And
Yeah.
Daryl will be the first to say that Bustamante's the shot maker of these 2. And yet it looks like Peach is going to take it.
Yeah. I mean, when you're involved in safety battles like this, it's always nice to get one over on your opponent. It sends out a message to them that you can play both games, the attacking and the safety game.
And it was Bustamante that had the more chances in this rack. Remember, he
Yeah.
had 3 shots of the 2, for goodness sake.
That's right, yeah.
But it's the man from Blackpool that's taking the rack. He had some daylight there. 3-1. Long way to go, of course, but this is encouraging for Daryl Peach. Not so encouraging for Francisco. And from a rose in full bloom to a peach. that has a sour taste in Francisco Bustamante's mouth right now. It's early days in this quarter-final, but the body language from Francisco Bustamante is not good, and Daryl, his great strength is his stability. No great highs and lows with this man. He won't blow you off the table with the brilliance of his shot making, but he won't give you anything either. It could be the Steady Eddie's chance.
Rack 5, Daryl Peach to break, leading 3 racks to 1.
To just sail a smooth course through this, because Bustamante, as great as we know he is, looks off his game at the moment. Well, let's see if Daryl can keep the pressure on with another nice break.
Yeah, you just feel as if, I mean, this is an ideal start here for Daryl. And if you can just keep it going for another rack or two, it'll be interesting to see how Bustamante copes with this, because he's expected to run away with this match. Another fine break off there from Daryl. The balls are well spread out. There's no clusters anywhere.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot you'd change there. He's got to get position on that pink 4, hasn't he? I'm not sure that passes the 6 bottom left. The pocket is obscured by Daryl at the moment, so we will know based on where he leaves this cue ball.
They just draw below the 4, take it into the side. Then means he's got easier work to get to the orange 5.
By the way, in case you're wondering why there's some empty seats in this auditorium with Francisco Bustamante at the table, I think there's a lot of people in Manila, pool aficionados, who couldn't quite believe that this one is due to start at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's an early start for a lot of people.
Pool players don't do 10:30 in the morning. That's sleep time.
Yeah.
And talking of that, actually, in all seriousness, Pat, I mean, is that something that could be having an impact on Bustamante here? He's not used to a 10:30 start.
Yeah, certainly a lot of the players, especially the Filipino players, locally, they tend to stay up late at night playing a lot of money matches, so their hours of work, as we could say it, is roughly from 9 o'clock in the evening to about 5 in the morning, so this is a very unusual start time. And maybe Francisco just hasn't quite coped with it yet. His brain doesn't seem to be in gear at the moment.
And it's not helped when your opponent can break and run out, as Daryl is on the threshold of doing here.
Daryl looking very composed, and look at that concentration there.
That's his great strength. He doesn't miss too many sitters. Yeah, this is exactly the start he would have had for himself. What he's got to do now is block out what's happened. He's got Bustamante on the run right now, but if he starts getting a bit edgy, thinking I'm leading against Bustamante, that's when the adrenaline starts to kick in and the cue starts to go a bit weird on you.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to try and block out your mind when you're playing at the top level. You've just got to concentrate on the job in hand and forget all your surroundings and who you're playing against. It's easier said than done at times.
Of course it is, yeah. But how often have we seen it in this tournament this week, Pat? You know, any time a player lets the adrenaline leak from the fingertips into the cue, that's a problem.
Yeah, we seen it the other day with Stepanov, who came from two tough matches where he was second favourite, and then he came into a match and he just didn't produce the goods at all.
ESPNstar.com, of course, is the website to keep you up to date with everything that's happening here.
To break, leading 4 racks to 1.
And of course, everything else in the world of sport.
I don't know if you've quite noticed yet, but in between each rack, Daryl will reach for his little he's got a little bit of sandpaper and he rubs down both his cues, and it's a little routine he's got to keep his concentration in between the balls being racked. And it's something he's been doing all week, you know. I've been watching him closely.
Well, and it's been working.
Yeah.
Why would you change anything? Here he is with another wing ball down and another look at the one.
You can see there's a problem ball here. You see the blue 2 there in your picture?
Yep.
And now you can see it there. The green 6 is rolled. No, it's a black 8 that's rolled in front of it, and it's blocked its path to the bottom pocket. So he's got a little bit of work to do here.
Has it completely blocked it, or is it now just a very small landing area for Peach? I guess we'll find out.
Judging by that sort of positional shot he's left there, it must go. He's just got to be careful here. He'll be trying to send the blue 2 into the corner. The cue ball is going to cannon into the 9, and he'll be looking to come across table here and back out for the orange 5 up the top. Sorry, the pink 4.
Yep, just like that. Just like that. Daryl Peach is watching your telestration, I'm sure of it. That's exactly what you just dialed up, Pat, and Daryl's done the hard part, though. He's executed it.
Yeah, he's just got a slight problem here. That brown 7 is not ideally placed, and it just might get in there. We see the angle he's got there on the pink 4, and he'll be looking to send the cue ball over towards the left hand side of your table. He just wants off the cushion. That's nicely done there from Daryl Peach. There's his sandpaper there, his little routine he's got. He even does it on his hand.
Got a high pain threshold.
Yeah, he's back in good position here. And you know, Daryl has really been putting the racks together, keeping his opponents quiet all week. As you say, he doesn't do anything flash or fancy, he just does the basics very well.
Sometimes that's all it needs. It's not always the player that's the most brilliantly gifted. It's the player who's the steadiest. The guy that just pots ball after ball after ball.
Yeah, cutting out those errors.
Yeah. Daryl Peach hasn't missed a ball he's attempted yet. Francisco Bustamante has had a bunch of misses. That's a frown, and it's a look of concern.
Yeah, it's a very worried man there.
We've got a storm brewing here.
I've been very impressed by Daryl's concentration levels all week. And another thing he's been doing all week, Nick, is with his chalk, he's actually been putting it in his pocket, and before, you'll see like most other players, they'll leave the chalk on the table all the time. It's a common thing in 9-ball. We see Daryl with his little scrubber there, scrubbing down his cue and his hand, making sure it's all smooth. But he's been keeping, you'll see him reaching for his chalk in his pocket there. And that's something he's just started back doing this year. He came from a snooker background, and most snooker players keep their chalk in their pocket. So it's handy when they're walking around the table that they don't have to reach out for
a break.
Find it.
Leading 5 racks to 1.
Yeah, he will watch what he does with his chalk, then it goes to his pocket. And I spoke to him about it midweek and asked him why he changed it, and he told me the reason was because when he's down in a shot, he doesn't want to reach out and put the chalk away from him on the table and get out of his line of vision. He wants to be right behind the shot and stay like that, and he feels that if he puts the chalk in his pocket, he doesn't need to move anywhere. And it's certainly been paying off.
Well, it's all these little things. He's a creature of habit.
Yep.
Now, is this going to be another break and run out? It doesn't look the easiest spread of balls at first glance.
No, he's just having a look at the table there, the point and where the cue ball is going to contact the cushion. Just coming, having a look at the combination on 2 onto the 5. Got a little bit of work. He could actually try and pocket the 1 ball down here, send the cue ball over there and back into the gap. It's a very tricky shot.
That's what he's going for, but he hasn't managed to get the right side.
Yeah, he just didn't want to take any chances there. He's got an easy safety on here. He can glance off the blue 2 and take the cue ball behind the 4 and 5.
Yes, I think here's the difference between the two players. Oh, hang on, yes, I see what you mean, yeah.
Or is he electing to actually attempt a bank shot here?
Well, this is the thing, there's all sorts of options there. That's interesting. He's played safe. Bustamante at that table, at that shot, I think he'd have gone for the bank.
Yeah.
But there was the possibility of a combination on as well. But Daryl said, you know what, I don't think I can get out of those shots. That's obviously the mental process he's gone through. So he said, well, let's go to plan C, play safe.
That was good thinking there from Daryl. He's actually played a very nice shot. He's cut off the angle for the automatic 1-rail kick into the blue 2. So Bustamante will need to put a lot of, you'll see him putting a lot of power and screw back on that to create an angle. Oh, and he's done that nicely. Very nice contact on the blue 2 there. Keeping control of that cue ball. Here we see it again.
It's been the first shot he's had to execute for a while, as Peach has had control of the table.
And those sort of shots are trademark Filipino kick shot. And not only the kick, it's a cue ball control too. They know exactly where they're sending the object ball and the cue ball. And Daryl for the first time in this match going for his jump stick. Already seen him use this a few times in the tournament effectively.
Well, I got in a bit of trouble with Alex Laley, who's never mounted across, because I kind of offered the suggestion that in general Europeans do not jump as well as Asians, and he shot me a filthy look. I stand by it though. I stand by it. What kind of jumper is this guy?
He's great. I've seen him go over a 6-foot wall many a time. But in all seriousness, he played 2 fantastic jump shots in the first rack against Ronnie O'Connell, and Jerry actually commented, will we see the first jump run out of a table? And that would have been special.
Well, let's check out his jump.
Is he going to get a roll here? Unfortunately not.
The applause you hear is because these fans know that Bustamante can finally go to work.
Yeah, he was looking for a good roll off that 2 ball there, but on this occasion he didn't quite get it.
It's a full stretch here, Bustamante.
And he's got a tricky little combination shot here. And this is not ideal when you're 5-1 behind in a match.
Knowing that if you don't get this, you're probably 6-1.
And he's missed. And you can see the frustration coming out in Bustamante there. He knows how important that shot was, being so far behind. Here we see it again. Just completely misjudged that one.
You know something? There's still a long way to go, Pat. But Bustamante is so out of sorts right now. Daryl Peach is never going to have a better chance to pull off what will certainly be one of the great results for him in his World Pool Championship career. It will be the result.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he was over the moon to put out the defending champion Elcano, but I think if he manages to carry on this form here and put out the tournament favourite now, Bustamante, and reach the semi-finals, I reckon this will be his best result ever. Just needs to compose himself here. He's in a great opportunity, but just got the wrong side of that green six. He needs to send the cue ball back up and down table.
Hello, where's this going to go? Where's this going?
Has he got the pace? Oh, he's got a nice pace in that there. He was fortunate there.
Wasn't he just? Just remember, Daryl, the balls don't forget these things. He dodged one there.
Yeah, it's almost as if the balls give you so many lives, and if you keep pushing it to the limit, they'll remember.
I think he's having one of those adrenaline surges. When Bustamante missed that combination, this fella thought, I've got a shot at 6-1 here.
Yeah, he just needs to compose himself, get back into his little zone.
It's amazing. Bustamante took that first rack, looked good, was breezing through the second rack. You remember, he missed that simple ace that allowed Daryl to steal it. Bustamante has done nothing since, and this fella just keeps plodding away. And the great man is 6-1 in arrears, and every time he comes up to the table, the body language is all wrong. There's frustration, there's irritation.
He's had a couple of opportunities, Bustamante, and there we see it. And the frustration coming out as he slams his cue on the table. And you know, that's the first time I've ever seen Bustamante lose his temper like that in a match.
Well, it goes back to that irritation thing, doesn't it? That, you know, when somebody was taking a photo, and Bustamante's reaction was so uncharacteristic, and slamming, as you say, slamming the cue, the cue down. I mean, could a referee have a word in that situation, or would you just back off and let him blow off some steam?
Yeah, I think given the circumstances, the referee Nigel Reese will know that Francisco is suffering a bit. We'll just give them the benefit of the doubt on this occasion, but generally if a player keeps doing that sort of behaviour around the table, the referee will warn them. Because it can be seen as ungentlemanly conduct.
And we have to remind ourselves, this is Francisco Bustamante we're talking about. That is so out of character.
Yeah. And Daryl wastes tennis grip there at the back arm. A nice solid break off again, but where is that pink four going?
Yeah, no, he's okay. Nice. I think he's okay. He's got another chance here.
And Daryl's adjusted very well to the table conditions here.
I mean, that cue ball's going to have to dance around the table a little bit, but if he can get control of this cue ball, he should be able to just put this rack to bed. Back down for the 2. Then position for the pink. That's the key shot here. And then to come back down for the 5. And if you can do all that, the rest should be plain sailing. Oh, spoke too soon. Spoke way too soon. The balls, remember. That's Daryl Peach's first miss. And he allows himself a wry smile.
I don't know what Daryl done wrong there. He just put a touch of English on the ball and got it all wrong. That was a great opportunity.
It's such a big mistake because you don't ever want to give your opponent a lifeline, and certainly not when your opponent is this man here. 6-1 in arrears. And it looked like it was going to be 7.
Bustamante he's already shown us this week how many racks he can put together.
He needs this one rack. I mean, just to get his confidence back. Because he's done nothing really since he had that miss on the black in the second rack.
Yeah, he's certainly not done anything since then. He'll just be trying to, while he's been sitting watching Daryl, he'll be trying to put all the bad things out of his mind.
Has he got enough on this?
Yeah, he's just come round and
just about got away with that.
just enough. He may actually try and use the 8 ball as a sort of blocker for the cue ball here and try and hold it rather than send the cue ball wildly around the table. No, he's just going to play natural ball. Oh, he tried to cannon it.
If a pool player has 9 lives, 3 just went there.
Yeah, that certainly took its time going in the pocket. Francisco's certainly not happy out there today. Looking to just come below the 9 ball, take a black up the top.
Well, shouldn't miss this one. But this is the same ball on the same pocket that he made a mess of in rack 2. And now there's more problems with the crowd for
Do as you
Bustamante.
can then, please.
People should really not be coming in during a rack, and there should be security stopping that, so you can understand some of his frustration. But it's also a sign of a player that's looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
Flasher.
Yeah, he's certainly not happy at the table today. He manages to see off those last couple of balls here to bring the deficit back 2 frames to 6. But generally what happens is if a player has lost all his concentration, he tends to take his frustration out like anybody around the table. Wow, that was that 6 ball that just fell over the line there.
Really staggered home, didn't it? So Bustamante takes that one. Daryl has to kick himself. Because that could easily be 7-1.
Yeah, it should have been 7-1.
And there's every chance that Bustamante could go on a tear up. But still, even when he went and sat back down there, Pat, there's a man under pressure. You can just see it. He's struggling. He's struggling with his emotions. He's struggling with his table. He's looking at things going on in the audience.
Yeah, everything
Rack
seems
9.
to be getting to him this
Francisco
morning.
Bustamante to break, train 2 racks to 6.
He's definitely not in the zone he was the other day. There we see those balls, remember again.
Yeah.
And that's what seems to happen when you're not playing at your best. Things tend to run against you. One ball gets kicked onto the side rail for the green 6. Might attempt the cross bank here.
Exactly what he's going for. He played it to perfection.
Yeah, it was a nice bank shot there, but the only trouble is it contacted the blue 2 on the way down. And it looks a little bit straight there.
There's a tiny angle, but no more than that.
Nice shot there to come back out table for the pink 4. What a draw in English in that last one. And now he's right back where he wants to be.
It's very interesting, Pat, because we're getting reports from table side that when Bustamante was complaining about movement in the crowd, there was nobody stood up, nobody coming in, nobody moving out. And similarly, when he was complaining about flash, we didn't see one.
Well, that is very surprising. So
he's creating his own demons out there, Bustamante, at the moment. But he can exercise them with a good break and run out here.
And this is similar to this black 8, and he missed in the second rack this match.
He has missed that one.
He's managed to get it this time. Yeah, the crowd been very still there. Well, Francisco is at the table. So as you say, he's got a few demons in his mind in the morning.
This will help to allay them. A good break and run out. And the peach miss on the blue continues to look very expensive. That's 2 racks he's pulled back. Don't give this man a chance. He'll take it with both hands. Still not happy, still trailing, but coming back. Well, Bustamante trying to find anything he can to get himself motivated. Phantom flashes of photography, ghosts moving in the crowd, an opponent that's been playing very well, everything conspiring against Bustamante, but one peach mistake has allowed Django to build some momentum. It was 6-1 and should have been 7-1.
Bustamante to break, trailing 3 racks to 6.
It's a very different scoreline now.
Yeah, the home fans will be trying to pick Django up a bit. His spirits have been pretty low in this match so far. We're hoping to try and get a few breaking run-outs, get his confidence back up.
Oh, where's that blue? Has it moved? No, I don't think he can quite get that one. Yeah, he's not getting the luck off the break. That's twice he's had a problem with the 1 ball. Look at this 2. And it just won't clear.
And the thing is, where that 1 ball is situated, he's not got an easy push out.
And where the rest of the balls are located, the man that pots that 1 is going to fancy a real good chance at running up the rack.
Yeah, but wherever he's thinking of leaving that cue ball, I really can't see a safe area on the table for it.
Well, trying to look at the aggressive options here, absolutely no chance of a jump. I can't see a bank. No way you can bank it.
No.
Push out.
You've got to push. There's nothing else you can do. You have to push.
Yeah, I think what he'll be just looking to do is just push here, put some distance between them, so he can't jump over the ball. It's a tough jump shot from there. The distance between the object ball and that 2 ball is great, so you need to jump really high, and to get it to come back down and stay on the table will be a tall order.
Any possibility of a masse?
That's what Daryl's just having a look at there. You can see from your camera angle, it doesn't egg around the full side of the ball.
Ooh, he fancies it, and now he's rethinking. And this is the dilemma, because if you sit down and your opponent comes up and makes the shot, it was a clever little push from Bustamante, because this is what you do with the push. You throw a little bit of bait out there for the other guy, don't you?
Yeah.
Mess with his mind.
That's right, yeah. Daryl can actually see the side of the win ball. Might try and take on this shot here, try and send. He's passed the table back to Bustamante. And let's see what he had up his sleeve here.
Well, it's all about making the right decision. That's 90% a 9-ball, isn't it?
I think what he'll try and do is try and spin the cue ball off 3 rails and try and hide behind the green 6. Oh, he's very fortunate there.
Not kidding.
You can see from our picture, cannons a 1 and almost scratches the cue ball up that top side.
That was very close. That was very close. He's on thin ice here, Bustamante. Well, if Peach can get a contact here, there's a natural barrier set on this table already. As you can see, that little arc of slip field is there almost. Those 3.
Yeah, Daryl's just coming round to have a look, see if he can maybe escape off the 1 rail here. A lot of English on the ball, a lot of left-hand English. Try and contact the cue ball on the way back up there. You see the angle there. You look to swerve it round the black 8, contact the cushion, and with English on the cue ball, then clip the 1 and send the cue ball back up table.
Oh, foul shot. Ball in hand.
And that's the trouble when you play at that pace. The cue ball swerves a lot earlier. You see the pace he puts in the cue ball here. Does it very gently, and thus the cue ball swerved into the black 8.
Well, there's still that little cluster to deal with here for Bustamante, but I don't think it's going to be a problem for long unless he makes an absolute mess of this shot.
No, the only real shot he's got here, tough one, is 67. But even at that, once he clears this 4 and 5, there's a lot of table to work with.
Hello. Oof. He doesn't mind using the jaws, does he?
Yeah,
Crumbs.
certainly used the width of that pocket there.
Right, this is the only headache.
Yeah, but looking to draw this cue ball off 2 rails, 2 of the long rails here, back across table and back out for the brown 7. Has he got the pace in the cue ball? Yeah, he's just coming off there.
You've got to feel a little bit of sympathy for Daryl Peach, because while Bustamante's been all over the place, missing and generally suffering, Daryl Peach has missed 1 ball, and Bustamante is building from that very slim foundation. 6-1 and Peach in control. All he had to do was pot away to make it 7-1 on a very easy rack, and he's missed that 2, and now we're looking at 6-4. Whole new ball game.
Yeah, it certainly is. Francisco will be delighted to just be 2 behind in this match, considering how badly he's played so far. Daryl Peach will be wondering what's happening here. I've only played 1 bad shot. How's this guy still in the match?
And he's being punished for it. And he's due a decent run of the balls off the break. The last 2 breaks haven't got Bustamante's way, and he's had to dig his way out of trouble. On the law of averages, he's going to get something pretty good here. That's a different looking scoreline.
Yeah, we're still at a race of 11 today in the quarterfinals. Daryl Peach is 6-4 up on Bustamante, but that man Bustamante is on the on the table breaking, and he'll be hoping for a little bit more luck. You've got to think that Daryl composing himself, sitting in his corner trying to
Rack 11, Francisco Bustamante to break.
put all
Trim 4
negative
racks to
thoughts
6.
out of his mind and just waiting his opportunity. But Bustamante will be looking to get a better break off here.
He's due one.
Yeah, he started off the match very well breaking, but the last couple of breaks not quite gone his way.
And is this another one that hasn't quite gone his way? Or can he see enough of that now? I think he's got enough.
Yeah, he's just got enough on it there, but he would see it again. You watch that blue 2 ball. It's not in a good position. And I'm just wondering if he can. You see, he can get a good shot in that one. You see the angle there.
I think he can get the 1, but the 2.
He might be able to play a carom off the 2 and pocket the 9. He's just looking at the angle.
Yes, isn't he just? Because if he can hold the cue ball there, he should have the angle for that. I think that's what you've got to hit the nail on the head here, Pat.
Yeah, he's definitely playing for that. Playing to contact the blue 2 and then send the 9 towards the corner pocket.
Well, this place will go crazy if this happens, and it really will confirm that Bustamante is back in business. Hey, that pocket gave him one last time. It just took one back. And he keeps flirting with the jaws. He can't keep doing this and expect to get away with it.
Oh, here we see that one again.
Settle down then, please.
Just didn't quite get enough contact on that 9 ball there. And sent it over the corner pocket.
So Peach is back at the table. Bustamante continues to struggle with his demons. You know, it's almost like there's a bit of Earl Strickland has infected Bustamante today.
Yeah, maybe Earl's still in the building. But Daryl here with a fantastic opportunity if he manages to pocket this in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, he has to get this. He has to get this ball.
And it's in. And you can see from your screen there the red 3. He's on the same side of that 9 ball.
Now, how easy is this? I mean, look at the distance.
Yeah, there's a lot of distance between the balls, but you can see that 9 ball is sitting nicely close to that bottom pocket. And I feel that any contact on that and it'll drop in the pocket. So any sort of contact he's looking for, and then it goes.
That's it, another momentum changer. And you've got to look at Bustamante again and say, you know what, that combination was on, it was very on, and he's missed it. That wasn't going for a difficult one and just not getting lucky. He didn't make the shot.
No, it's definitely a good opportunity for Bustamante to bring it back to 1 frame behind, but as it happens, Daryl Peach sees out the rack. And there's that carom on the 9. Things just aren't going his way this morning.
I don't know who's suffering the most, Django or half the people in this crowd.
Daryl Peach plays a nice 3-9 combination to take a 7-4 lead in a race to 11.
Yeah, Peach, I'm sure, has sat back in his chair after that miss on the blue ball, and he's saying to himself, no more silly mistakes.
Yeah.
If you can't get the shot, you can't get the shot, and if Bustamante's going to win, then make him win, but don't give him anything.
Right. Don't give them gilt-edged chances, when you're in amongst the balls like it was earlier on. And Daryl will be home to get his concentration level back up again.
Leading 7 racks to 4.
I honestly feel, Pat, 1 error is all this man's going to be allowed if he's going to beat Bustamante.
Yeah.
And he's had that error. It's always the way, isn't it? When the better player can make mistake after mistake and still somehow nick it. If you're the inferior, in inverted commas, players,
Yeah.
you get one shot.
That's right, yeah. You're not allowed to make as many mistakes as
Yep.
you are and get away with it.
It's absolutely
And look at
true.
this break off.
It's a little bit useful looking, isn't it?
Never see it again, your overhead. The 1 ball and the 3 ball go down, so he's got nice shape on that blue too.
And thunderous applause from 3 people in the auditorium. Greeted that shot.
Yeah, his fan base certainly knew that was a good break off. Just got to be careful here, he doesn't want to overdo it. Keep it simple again. Just take the cue ball back up table for a nice shot in the 4 on the top left hand side, and that looks to be absolutely perfect. So Daryl Peach here. It's a nice looking table. As you can see, there's no obstacles, no clusters. They're all in good position.
Nicely done. No bouncing that one off the jaws. Who's that then?
She looks a familiar face, my Shirley. Little smile for the camera there. Daryl certainly looks focused again.
This is the only way he's going to win this match.
Yeah, he really needs to keep his concentration level at 100%.
I mean, it sounds like I'm being critical, and I'm not, because this is the right strategy. Be a dour plodder.
Oh, yes.
Take your time. Don't give your opponent anything. Keep him nailed in his seat. Take this crowd out of it.
Yeah, he just wants to keep to his own strengths, and he said it in an interview beforehand, his strengths are his concentration and his focus. He doesn't feel he's got all the shots. Whoa. He doesn't feel he's got all the shots like all the rest of the players have got, but what he does do, he does it well.
Well, it's a bit like a boxer that doesn't have the big punch. You're not going to beat the guy with a knockout, so you're just going to have to win on points. And
That's right, yeah.
That's the way Peaches is going to have to approach it. That guy there, he's the KO king.
And Daryl's just using his jab very well.
He's bobbed and weaved his way to 8-4. Daylight established again. And the winning line starting to come into focus for Daryl Peach. He needs 3.
There's his fan base here with England fans. The flag. And they'll be encouraging Daryl to go over that winning line. And he'll be feeling to himself, I'm only 3 away. If I can just hold myself together. There is lucky little mascot there. Little bulldog.
Well, it's the bulldog spirit that may see him through here.
And then he goes with his little routine, rubbing down his cue in his hand. And he's not changed anything since day 1 here. He's got his little routine together. Helps him focus on the job in hand.
Well, Daryl Peach mentally has to go through that process that it's 0-0.
Yeah. He's just got to block out the occasion and who he's playing
Rack
against.
13, Daryl Peach to break, leading 8 racks to 4.
But isn't it good to see, whatever happens here, it's good to see Daryl finally, start to fulfill himself a little bit in this championship. Because, since Matchroom took over in 1999, he's always there.
Yeah.
But he never gets beyond the round of 64.
No,
and he's too good for that.
Yeah. He said beforehand he's never really come to the championships in good form, but this year he feels he has. He feels this has been his best form coming into this tournament. And he's certainly shown it so far. And another fantastic break-off there from Daryl Peach.
Is the 2 obscured? That 8 came sliding in pretty late to take away the 2, I think. Or is he okay? There's the 8.
It just slightly runs past the blue 2. You'll see it in a second on your screen. But no, he's still in good position here.
Right back, yeah.
It doesn't need to do much with the cue ball, just... This is another relatively easy run out here for Daryl. Just needs to compose himself.
Last time we said that, he missed
the blue 2, yeah.
Have you jinxed him?
I don't think Daryl will lose his concentration again in this match.
Well, he can't afford to.
He would have liked to have been just a little fraction more on that, but still okay. Can use a little bit of English in the cue ball. We've seen English here. Helps spin it away from that green 6. And now he's got a choice here. He can either just roll the pink ball, pink 4 into the pocket, or he can come up table for it, the lunge 5 in the side. And I think he's got a bit in between there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he actually meant to come up that high, or whether he was hoping to play that 5 into the side. And that's what can happen sometimes. Sometimes you get down in a shot and you're in between. You know that it goes in quite a few pockets, and instead of making sure which pocket you're playing for, you get down in the shot and you're in between, and that's what happens. Oh, and he's played a fantastic shot there. Good pace in the cue ball and the object ball.
Well, it's a coast-to-coast shot and a total eclipse. But he has allowed Bustamante back up to the table, and looking at the big picture on this one, he shouldn't have allowed that to have happened.
No, he had a good opportunity there to see out the rack. You can see that 5 ball looks pretty close to the rail. And if it's a frozen ball, they need to make something to hit a cushion, either the object ball or the cue ball after contact.
There's as much tension in this building as I've been aware of all week, Pat. This is nerve-ending stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Coming down to the business end of the tournament, people know how close they are to winning this coveted title.
What's Bustamante done here?
He didn't put any pace in that there. He really don't know what he was trying there. He's all out of sorts today.
Badly out of sorts. Said it before, worth saying again. Daryl Peach will never have a better opportunity.
Daryl needs to hold himself together here.
But the tension, it's not just the players, it's in the crowd.
Yeah.
The faces in the crowd, you can see the concentration levels, the anxiety in most cases. Hello. Again, he's used the jaws, wiped its feet. That pocket's seen a lot of foot wiping in this match. And even the simple shots now that these players are making, you find yourself holding your breath.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 9 ball. And it goes.
It's very tense out there, but you'd rather be Daryl Peach than Francisco Bustamante right now. 9-4, 2 more to get the job done. Engine block on Star Sports. Check listings for details. Here's a man in the fast lane right now. Is he on the highway to the Final Four?
Good solid performance so far from Daryl Peach.
Track 14.
Only
Daryl
one
pitched
on
the break.
course there.
Needed 9 racks to 4.
it's the right scoreline, isn't it? There's no way you can be arguing that Bustamante's been unlucky here or Peach has been lucky. If anything, it could be an even bigger scoreline.
Yeah.
This guy's 2 break and run-outs from a place in the semi-finals. He's that close. Hello, where's that going? He goes on that.
Ball in hand.
Well, what did you say earlier? He'll get away with 1. He won't get away with 2.
Yeah.
That is error number 2 from the cue of Daryl Peach.
Yeah, and he'll be bitterly disappointed that the cue ball's going straight into the centre pocket there. It's not even been kicked off any ball.
Just when you think you've got this game figured out, Daryl.
Yeah, and this is a sort of man you don't want to be given these sort of opportunities to. He's more than capable of running the whole match out here.
Absolutely.
You can see we're line up of the other matches on table 2 at the moment. Miki Immonen 4-7 down to Foldes.
Could it be the day of the underdog? Well, not if Bustamante has his way. And he's a man that can catch fire at any moment. But his safety net's gone. He can't go looking for excuses anymore. He's just got to play Django Bustamante pool.
Yeah, we certainly need to step up to the plate now, because one more mistake from him and Daryl Peach will be on the hill. So we really need to put a 5 or 6 pack together now, put the pressure back on Daryl's game.
He's absolutely blasted his way through this rack so far.
He's sending this up table with top pocket. And that's more like the speed and the consistency of Django.
Well, that's what his game's all about.
His wife looking on there, hoping and praying that her man can make a famous comeback in his quarter-final match here.
And he will, if Daryl Peach gives away chances like that.
Yeah, you practice, put hours and hours of practice into that break shot, and to scratch straight in the middle like that would be disappointing for Daryl. The scoreline as it stands now is Peach 9, Bustamante 5.
It's a day for mental strength, this one, because the winners get a little break and then they go into a semi-final.
Yeah.
It really is a tough, draining day. I mean, whoever comes out of this one, it's been a really exhausting match mentally already, and whoever wins has got to step up and do it again in a couple of hours' time.
That's one of the biggest parts of the game. Thinking and mentality. Got to keep your focus and concentration for long periods of time.
Back 15.
And when you add in all the emotions to it, it's
Turn 5 racks
can certainly drain it out of you. It's not so much a physical
Flash
game,
off,
it's more a
please.
mental game.
Absolutely right. I wonder if Bustamante's got his head clear yet. There certainly seems to be a bit more purpose about his movement around the table, certainly in that last rack.
And you can see a better break off there.
Yeah. That looks good. That looks very good.
There was more power in that break off there than he has done midway through this match. You can see he pockets 3 balls.
I mean, the only worry, or it's not even a worry, the only thing he's got to do off this one is make sure he clears some traffic off the 3 to the 4. If he does that, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I feel like this opening shot here could be the one that determines this rack. Needs to get a good cannon on that 3.
Has he got enough? Has he got enough?
They'd like to have been top side of that 3 there, but
He's got that 4 to get onto. That's the problem.
yeah, it can be, there we see it there in your picture. Would have liked to have been the other side of that 3. It would have made his work a lot easier.
Well, Daryl, we know, will just play a safety shot out of this. But Bustamante, a more naturally aggressive player, I wonder what his decision's going to be.
Yeah, he'll be looking to send the cue ball back up table, possibly put a little bit of English on it, and back down there for the pink 4. But I might prefer, I think that's the easiest shot to play at this stage in the match. Run inside.
There's that now finish up, right on the rail.
Unfortunately for him, he's just run it too far. Here we see that shot again. A lot of left-hand English on the cue ball. And he runs it too far for the pink 4. Now he's got to do all his work again here.
Yeah. Oh, there's a cut into a blind pocket. And the cue ball zinging around the table.
There we go. See?
Stay still, please.
Again,
Every time I play,
something is disturbing him. And whether it's real or imagined,
Stay as still as you can when the players at the shot, either Daryl or Francisco.
I mean, how come it's always happening for Bustamante but doesn't seem to be happening for Peach? You would think, if anything, if there is any sort of things going on there, you think it'd be Daryl that would be getting the wrong end of it.
That's right, both players would be distracted then. It just shows you their level of concentration. Daryl is a lot higher, and Bustamante is easily distracted this morning.
And is it my imagination, or is it the high pressure shots that seems to be producing the problems? Oh, here we go again.
Stay still, please.
excuse me, Daryl.
Well, this is really starting to get to Bustamante now.
Yes, someone seems to be distracting him in the crowd. He's not happy.
Take a minute if you need it.
And Nigel Rees, the referee, doing exactly the right thing, telling Bustamante just to settle himself down. Whatever's going on out there, it's certainly bothering Bustamante. Now, what's he got with that cue ball? Got enough? Lovely shot. After all that, he's made it look like a cakewalk.
Yeah. Yeah, the difficult part there was just the pace in the cue ball, and he's managed to do that fine.
And now he's got his back to the section of the crowd where all the movement seems to be coming from.
He just wants to avoid contacting that 9 on the way through here, becoming the right hand side of the 9 ball. Where's that cue ball going? Yeah, it's nicely done there. And after all the distractions in this frame, this 9 ball, to claw another one back. Peach not getting caught up in any of it. Just focus on what he needs to do when he gets the opportunity.
Well, it's very simple, isn't it? The margin for error for both of them is now gone. If you're at the table, you better stay there.
Yeah. And that's what we're going through Daryl's mind at the moment. If we're wondering if we will get another opportunity to get back to the table.
And equally, Bustamante knows that, yeah, he's got the table right now, but he needs racks.
Yeah, he needs 5 more racks to take him over the winning line.
I mean, Bustamante cannot afford a mistake. A mistake probably takes Peach to the hill.
Yeah.
So he can't do anything. And equally, Peach knows that, you know, you get away with one. You might possibly get away with 2 errors. 3? Nah.
No chance, yeah. Not at this level.
No. So the next big mistake is probably going to cost the perpetrator the match.
Rack 16, Francisco Bustamante to break, train 6 racks to 9.
I'm sure you'd still be sitting in Daryl Peach's shoes right now than Bustamante's, to have the lead. Even though Bustamante's got the table.
Yeah, Bustamante will be looking for a kind of break off this time.
Wing ball goes.
And that's,
Yeah, that'll do.
that's certainly what he's looking for there. You will see it, nice cue ball control. Stops it right in the centre of the table. And he's got a good look at that yellow one. And he's just left a long 3 into the bottom left hand corner. And it doesn't really need to do much with the cue ball, just run it straight down table for the pink 4.
This is a pocket that he's had shots bouncing around the jaws. Some dropped. That combination on the 9 didn't. And that one didn't need the jaws.
And where's that cue ball drifted?
Is it? He's held up. Yeah, I think he's okay. Vilmos Fold is on the hill.
Yeah, this is an important shot. The rack here wants to be on the right side of this 6. He's got a nice shot there, mate. Just look to come up table a little for a cut in this brown 7. You'll see, situated by the black 8 there. Doesn't want to come too high, and that's nicely done there. And now this is the angle that's been causing him all the problems when he's been looking to that side of the crowd.
Yep.
A few occasions so far, someone's distracted him. Let's hope they stay still here. And he's decided to take a way round table. He's just not got enough pace in that one there. And this is certainly a tester at this stage of the match.
Knowing that it's an absolute all or nothing shot, you don't get away with a miss on an 8 ball.
No,
it's harder than you'd like it to be. And he'll probably make it look easy.
Well, he's been making these look easy all week.
Just like that. And the momentum continues to swing back towards Bustamante.
Tricky little shot here. Thin cut back on this 9. It's not the 9, it's the cue ball control. And want to avoid the middle pocket.
Yes! 9 down. He pulls to within 2.
And it looks like Bustamante is going to put a few together here and make a match of it at last. Because the way he was looking, Nick, that man there, Daryl Peach, was starting to run away with it. And that break off from Daryl, scratching the white in the centre pocket, has given the opportunity to Bustamante.
And hasn't this place filled up?
Yeah, the crowds are starting to flock in now.
I think the word went out. Bustamante's in a bit of trouble. Get here.
Yeah. He's sent it out for reinforcements.
Yeah, they're here now. And Bustamante has played those last 2 racks probably as well as he's played at any point in this whole match. Strange one for him, because he started off that first rack and was comfortably breezing through the second rack, and as soon as he missed that 8 ball, he went right off the rails.
Yeah, Everything seemed to affect him after that. And you've seen the frustration come out a few occasions, especially when he slammed his cue on the
Rack
table,
17,
missing that
Bustamante to
carom.
break. Train 7 racks to 9.
But they're both under pressure here, as he's still chasing, but Peach is sitting there thinking, oh, have I blown this?
Yeah,
I've had this fella on the ropes.
yeah, it's a horrible thought to be sitting there watching your opponent come back at you like that, knowing that you're so close to the winning line.
Oh, he's got this break cooking. There is a little 8-9 meld.
Yeah, that 8 ball was tightly knit to the 9 here. You'll see it come and rest beside it. He's got an opening shot in the red 3. You can see in your picture there, got a shot in the bottom right hand corner. Doesn't need to do anything fancy with the cue ball, just let it go down its natural path. Starting to get the stroke in action now.
Yeah, he's still surveying the sand traps on this particular table, though.
You wonder if he's got an opportunity here. There, he's just looking at it there on your screen. He's got an opportunity to pocket the 4 and use the cue ball to cannon into the black 8 and split them up.
And if
He needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to go the opposite side after contact. Oh, he's just missed. He played the safer option there, knowing that if he did miss, he was still going to get a shot in the orange 5. There we see it again. Just
it needed the slightest touch, didn't it?
yeah, just touch more English on the cue ball there, and it would have got the desired effect he was looking for. But now he knows he's got a little bit of work to do now. This 8 ball will go in the centre pocket to the left of the screen, but you can see the brown 7 up table, so
That's the problem, isn't it? He's got to get from that 7 into a very small zone.
yeah, he'll just be coming up table looking for a good angle off a 7. He's got a few options open to him here. And you see the option that he prefers. Just want to draw that cue ball back down off a 7. Off 2 rails. Firstly, he needs to get the right angle on his way shot from what he was looking at there.
Oh, yes. Well, here he is, lining up the key shot of the rack.
Yeah, we're looking to come round off 4 rails here for position on that black 8.
Well, it's a moment like this that can define a match. If Bustamante can pull this one off, you'd think he'll have enough momentum, you would think, to go all the way. But it's a tough one. It's the kind of shot that a Bustamante can make.
This is all about the pace of the cue ball here. And that looks about perfect. And the crowd know it.
And that's looking ominous for Daryl Peach. The real Django Bustamante has returned to the table.
Yeah, it certainly has.
The imposter's been dispatched.
Sacrifice.
He's not quite happy with that one.
It's amazing, isn't it? All the hard work looked like it had been done. To get onto that 8, that was the key shot. And instead, he's got to dig another one out.
Yeah, he's got a thin cut to the left hand, the right hand middle.
the top of your screen there. Or I may elect to play the bank shot here. Yeah, he's going for the bank shot. Drawing the cue back down table in case he misses.
And the bank is open. And Bustamante is in business.
The locals love that shot there. And he's
Oh, this one's boiling up now. Everyone's into it. That's bad news for Daryl Peach. It's great news for Francisco Bustamante. Game on. Not many of them around. Well, who's your money on now, Pat Holtz? The fella that's in the lead or the fella that is coming up on the rails like an express train?
Well, you've got to... You can see the emotion there from Django. He feels he's starting to come into this match, and who would write him off at this? He only needs 3 more racks, and the way he's been playing the last few, he's not let Peach back to the table since 9-4, so you wouldn't want to write him off yet.
Don't forget, one mistake, one bit of bad luck could set Daryl Peach on his way to the hill. So hold those celebrations, whichever one of these players you're supporting.
Rack 18, Francisco Bustamante to break, and 8 racks to 9.
Yeah, that's a shame. If Daryl Peach goes out of this tournament with that scratch, he's only made 2 unforced errors in the whole match so far.
Well, we thought 2 might be too many. We might be right. Oh, Bustamante's break is really cooking now, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to fear for Daryl when he's breaking like that. See the overhead, the wing ball goes in, the 1 ball goes in, and he gets a good look at that 2 ball. And the way the table's spread out, you see his break stance. And the way all those balls are split like that, there's no obstacles. But where's he gone with that cue ball? He's just got too much into that one.
Took the scenic route, didn't it?
Now he's got a lot of work to do here. He's just pointing to that green 6. He was hoping to cannon into that, so he could shoot that 3 in the side pocket.
Because the cue ball is going to go veering wildly away from where he wants it to go now.
Yeah.
And with balls on the table to avoid if he's going to try and bring it back. Yeah. Getting off 3 to 4 has suddenly become a big problem.
Yeah, probably use a gap just above the 6 ball here. He's might want to just try and catch the rail and send it with a lot of English back up table. Oh, he didn't expect to cannon that 6 like that. He's hoping to avoid the 6 and with the draw and side he had on the cue ball, bring it back out table.
For the first time in quite a while, Daryl Peach is shifting in his chair. Well, here's a huge shot for Bustamante.
I feel Bustamante's style of play, he'll probably attempt a bank shot here.
Yeah.
He's a very offensive player. He's not one to duck.
But also, as offensive as he is and as brilliant and creative as he is, this is one he cannot get wrong. And that is why he decided to play safe. But has he got safety?
Well, you can actually see the side of that pink 4.
It could have been a lot better.
You see it in your camera angle there. Just got too much into this one. Elected for the safety. He knows how crucial a part of this match is here at 9-8. And race to 11. One mistake from either player now,
Absolutely.
and it could be end of the road.
No question. But this is a much more generous table than Peach could have expected, because Bustamante did not put the handcuffs on.
Yeah, Daryl will be looking to just slightly nick off the side of the 4. Take that cue ball back to roughly where it is at the moment. Try and hide the 4 behind the 7.
Daryl Peach will weigh up every option here. You just get the sense that this pink ball is crucial to the outcome of the entire match, and that's not exactly what Daryl would have been looking for either. Yes, there's distance, but that's all there is.
Yeah, he was hoping for that 7 ball to stay in position and hide the pink 4, but as you can see from your camera there, he's got full view of that 4 ball. So Bustamante with the upper hand here so far. They're looking to put Daryl in trouble here.
That looks good. That looks very good. That 9 ball looms like a balloon between cue ball and object ball.
And you can see the pace that he put in that. Took the cue ball behind the 9. And I wonder if Daryl will go for a jump stick here. He knows if he can jump over cannon that pink 4, he'll send it up table. The cue ball stayed down behind.
There's always
6 and
alternatives.
9.
There's always alternatives, aren't there, Pat? But
Yeah.
this is a percentages shot. What's
Yeah.
your best percentage chance? And you kind of look at the short stick and think, well, that's the one to go for.
Yeah, he knows that if he gets a good contact on the side of this 4, he knows he'll send it way up table, and the cue ball will come back down towards the 7 and 9. So going for a little bit of luck here too. Important thing is not to jump that cue ball right off the table.
Oh, it hung on and it scratched.
He just got too much into that one there. It almost bobbled off the table, and then it just run down towards the corner pocket
Settle
and
down,
scratched. Here we see it again. See that cue ball slide in the corner pocket.
And that is a big deficit that is about to be wiped out.
Yeah, Bustamante with a great opportunity here to level things.
Well, you have to look back at that horrible, horrible scratch.
Yeah. There's a basic break off here early on from Daryl, and he was well in front 9-4.
Yeah. And the scratch that's just happened on this one, yes, it's a mistake, obviously, but I mean, he'd been put in that situation by a good shot from Bustamante. It's not quite as significant as that earlier scratch off the break.
No, that one there, he was getting out of a snooker himself, so he can count himself a little bit unfortunate in that one. But the momentum in this match is certainly shifted in favour of Bustamante.
Oh, look at this.
And look at this for confidence.
It's the other guy that's called the Dazzler. And it's this guy that's threatening to put his opponent's lights out. Bustamante back on level terms. And it's been a long time since he's been level with Daryl Peach.
Yeah, Francisco Bustamante, you can see Daryl Peach with his lucky charm in his corner. There's a lot of emotions in this crowd at this time. And you see that scratch here. And Bustamante running out the last few balls to level the match. And you know, Nick, early on in the match when Bustamante was struggling with his game and Daryl was in good flow. We wouldn't have thought this scoreline would be up
No.
here.
But didn't we say it? We said you might get away with one mistake against Bustamante. You may not get away with two. And when that second one came in,
Yeah.
it's transformed the complexion of this contest. From 9-4 and looking so comfortable, and him looking so out of sorts.
Yeah, everything was distracting.
Yeah.
Bustamante earlier, his concentration level had totally gone.
And it needed one slip, and Peach gave it to him.
Rack 19.
And if
Francisco
Daryl
Bustamante
loses
to
this
break.
match,
9-9.
that scratch will haunt him forever.
Yeah, certainly won't get much sleep tonight if he doesn't win this match from here, from being 9-4 in front. Certainly be a sickener.
It's another carbon copy break. But does the two go? I don't think it does.
You can tell from his body language here that he's not got an opening break.
Look at this, the wing ball goes and the one ball in the side again, just as he has done the last couple of breaks, but
An extra roll from that 5 ball
Yeah.
is blocked to 2. You see here, just keeps rolling over and blocks that 2 ball from this corner pocket.
that 5 ball has just given Daryl Peach a glimmer of hope. 9-all. Who's first to the hill? Got the push, of course, as an option.
Never see the angle where he definitely can't pocket
It's
that
not
2.
going, is it? Not even Bustamante can pull that one off.
Gives out a little holler in Filipino there. I'm not quite sure what he says there, Nick.
You know what? It's probably best that we don't know. That was, goodness me, what rotten luck.
Okay. And he has got an option here of a 2-5 combination. I wonder if he'll be so daring to take that one at this stage of the match.
What, knowing that if you miss it, you've probably given up the rack?
But he knows if he can get it.
You've got the rack, yeah.
The 2 ball is going to cannon over the right hand side. And
He's done it. He's done it.
What a very brave shot to take on at this stage of the match. It poised at 9-all.
How many players would have taken that on?
Not many. Not many at all.
Would you?
No. I would have ducked and weaved.
Yeah. And 99% of your fellow players would have done exactly the same. But you know what? If you want to win this thing, that's the kind of shot you've got to pull out once in a while.
And he's got to pull out another good shot here to get back in position. Wants that to slow down. And that looks about perfect. You're taking this down the bottom right hand corner pocket as you look at the screen.
Well, hasn't he got his game together now?
Just be using natural cue ball here to float it down table for the green 6. To use the full width of that pocket there.
As he has done on more than one occasion. It's looking bleak for the Peach gang. It's looking very bright indeed for the Bustamante supporters. He's got his game back. It looks like he's going to be first to the hill.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to bet against him now. If he manages to hold himself together these last couple of balls to take himself on the hill. emotions if he does manage to win this match.
Oh. Well, he's on the hill. With every chance of finishing the job. What a match this has been. The finals in June. Roberto Gomez due up next against Kuo Po Cheng. How about that? You can sit in the crowd and watch a match and then get ready for your own match.
Leading 10 racks to 9.
Gomez has got ice in his veins. But he might have to leave soon because this one may just be done and dusted. Bustamante on the hill. All he's got to do, maintain focus and poise, keep that break of his rolling. What a weapon this has been since he rejuvenated his game.
Yeah, he seems to have switched the lights on from the middle part of this match onwards. And what about that for a break-off?
If he gets that 2 and gets position on the 3, I don't see any way Daryl Peach is going to play another shot in this match.
Yeah, the balls have come out very nice there.
Settle down then, please.
Pockets a wing ball and a win ball. A nice shot in the 2.
He's made a habit of that, the wing ball and the 1 ball. This is the tough shot though.
Yeah, he's just stretching a little over the 5 ball here. Over the pink 4, sorry.
Still showing those a little bit of tetchiness. He's done well to keep this under in check. And it threatened to spill over a little bit at one point in this match. Now, what does he get? Has he got enough? Oh!
A terrible mistake there from Bustamante. Stretching over the full length of the table. Maybe see it again. Gets a little bit too much into that cue ball and collides with the 9 ball.
Well, unless Francisco Bustamante can pull off some outrageous bank shot here, Peach is going to get back to the table.
Yeah, and I just can't understand at times why players don't want to try and use a rest at times. Rather than that, they stretch and they play the shot all wrong.
Well, he was unhappy with that before he played it.
Yeah.
He pulled away and said, no, you heard him muttering away. And
yeah, went back to his corner, got some talc for his cue.
Yeah. You almost create a rod for your own back in that situation. Just.
And this could be the lifeline that Daryl Peach has been waiting for.
What's Bustamante going to leave him? Anything or nothing? Oh! What did that hit? Look at that! What a shot!
The referee is a little bit unsure of that.
Did it hit the 9 first? You know, I thought it hit the 9 first. And they're going to check it. Nigel Reese is saying we're going to take another look. My initial reaction was that connected with the 9 first, in which case that's a foul and ball in hand.
Here we see the shot again. Oh,
It's
certainly hit the 9 ball first there.
Yeah, just went for another angle, that's right. Just take that down.
Well, there's going to be uproar in this place, but that hits the 9 first.
Here's a better view of it from this angle.
Or does it? Or does it?
One more. I think that's a foul.
And now both players and Nigel Reese are looking at replays. And who's Nigel Reese right now?
No, just going to watch it. Just going to watch it.
Maybe this is a better view.
Oh, I think it's the 9 by the narrowest of margins. But I wouldn't want to be making this call, Pat.
No, I know would I. For me, it just seemed to make contact with the 9 first. You can see the power it exerts into the 9. The 9
freeze frame stuff, isn't it? Of course, some fans are seeing these replays the same as us.
definitely the 9 ball.
It's the 9, but these fans These fans are doing everything they can to influence Nigel Rees.
That one just again. That one again.
I think when we looked at the overhead there, Nick, it certainly hit the nine ball first. Fans are just getting a bit excited now. Daryl Peachy's not convinced.
Overhead shot.
The overhead shot is definitely the best shot you've got of this one, and for me, it definitely hits that nine ball first.
Well, I thought when I saw the shot that it connected with the 9.
Yeah.
But every time you see a replay, you think, which is it? I think it is the 9, but it's so close.
Yeah, certainly.
It's the 9.
That's better. When they slow it right down like this, you'll see it contact to 9 before the 3 ball moves.
Well,
It's certainly the 9 ball. We'll leave that decision up to the referee.
yep. There aren't many would want to trade places with him right now. What a moment in this match. You can hear Michaela Tabb's voice there coming into it, the head referee. Both senior referees watching this one.
Simultaneous hits.
It's the 9, but only just. Oh, that is so close.
You can actually see the 9 ball just shift slightly.
Yeah.
Back 2 frames.
And I think we're going to get definitive on this.
Yeah, they're actually asking the technical department
that's
to
the
take it
9.
frame by frame.
That's the 9.
Yeah, I took 9 first.
Yeah.
And Nigel
Foul
Rees. Nigel Rees has called it foul shot, and
Foul
he's
shot,
got it
ball in
right.
hand. Yeah.
He's got it right. But this place
got
is
the
not going to be
replay.
happy when they hear this. Yeah, listen to this.
Just wait a minute.
Yeah, you can see it there in your camera. It
Yeah,
certainly
we got
moves the 9
frame by
ball
frame.
first.
On the overhead, it came in on the 3.
Bustamante's arguing his case.
Michaela, Thomas, and myself.
Well, let's see how Bustamante reacts to this, because I think his
Good
tone
framing.
will set the
Came
tone
to
for the
the line.
crowd.
The overhead.
You want to see the overhead again?
Yeah, no, we've seen it. We've seen it. Came in
Hindi
overhead.
kasi napinaan eh. It look like the 3 balls.
Bustamante is trying to say
Yeah,
it is
on the overhead, it comes in on the
simultaneous
3,
hit.
on the 9. It came in on 3 frames.
Certainly from angles we've looked at it, Nick,
Yeah.
and you actually thought it did hit the 9 right away.
Naked eye, I thought that's connected with the 9, and then you saw the 9 go into the pocket. All right.
As you see the contact there,
Which ball moves first? It's the
Yeah.
9.
No, 9
the 9 actually moves when it makes contact there.
overhead.
You can't trust the fans.
No, they're looking from a bad angle, looking at it like that.
You see the shot, the 3 ball is moving. And then the
This
3
is the
ball
best.
Maybe overhead here.
This is the best angle to
Yeah.
see the shot.
Yeah, but
You see the 9 ball move before the
Yeah.
cue ball actually strikes the 3.
I mean,
There's no question which ball moves first.
No.
I'm going to go with 3.
Yeah, the head referee's been involved, Michaela Tabb.
Yeah.
Director, he's agreed it is a foul
Yeah.
by Syria.
And you're
Yeah.
hearing that
The tournament director's
the tournament
over.
director concurs as well. So Bustamante has nowhere to go now. The referee, the head referee, and the tournament director, and
No, I didn't call right away. I
this
stopped.
replay
Yeah, I stopped.
are all in agreement.
Yeah, they've certainly got the right decision here.
And by the way, great credit to Nigel Rees. He's handled this
I've waited for
magnificently.
the replay for this. Yeah, so important.
He didn't make a snap judgment. He didn't allow the crowd to overwhelm him. He wasn't intimidated by the crowd. He said, let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
Let's bring in a second opinion. It's so important to get this right.
And it's very fortunate we've got so many good camera angles on this.
Yep, our guys have certainly made their job a bit easier, because, I mean, we're talking about a hair's breadth here,
Point there.
Yeah,
but it's
you can see when that cue ball actually makes contact, the 9 moves before the white
Yeah.
ball hits the 3.
it's not even a simultaneous hit.
No.
That 9 moves.
If it was a simultaneous hit, both the red 3 and the 9 would move at the same time. But you can see when it makes contact here, the 9 definitely moves first.
I was first.
And the difficulty here is, with all this commotion and all this going on, it would have distracted both players.
Well, Bustamante is still arguing his case. Peach has gone back in towards his chair. He's just taking a drink of water and is just pacing up and down quietly. But Bustamante is still lobbying hard. And he's not taking this well at all.
No. That's the green. It's come to. It's 9 first. Just there.
I don't know how many of these replays Francisco wants.
You see 3 balls?
9 balls moving first.
He's clutching at straws here.
He's seeing things.
He's been seeing things from the opening from the opening few racks in this match.
Yeah. From flash cameras to movement in the crowd, now to a 3-ball moving before the 9 that just isn't happening.
The smallest fractions.
Yeah, this is in the foul. Yeah, it's the foul.
But I like the way Nigel Rees handled this, and I like the way he got support immediately, and that they've all taken time to study this to get it right.
Yeah, they've not rushed the decision.
Okay. Yeah, made the goal. Yeah, it was a foul. Yeah, 3 of us.
Yeah, the decision has been made.
I think these fans know it. As much as of a ruckus as they're going to make, I think they know it too.
Yeah, ball in hand.
Because these replays have confirmed it.
Down, please.
Nigel just need to get the crowd back in their seats now. They're obviously not happy at the decision.
Well, I hope this doesn't ruin the rest of this match. These fans have got to play their part and play the game here. This guy's got it spot on.
Sorry. We need to play the rack and then we'll have to
Well, Daryl's now shaking. Well, what's
He wants to go and clear his head.
And I don't blame him. It's very difficult for both these players. A timeout has been requested by Daryl,
I think we need to carry on.
Daryl is taking his own decision and walking away. Bustamante is in his chair, furious.
Do you want to see the director? The game. I mean, we gotta start the game because this one gonna be a big factor.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think this one. I mean, if you're
I agree.
It's no problem. But
I agree.
You have to talk to the.
Yeah. No, we've got to carry on.
Wait, okay.
Hang on a sec. Yeah.
We have to talk to the.
Daryl's back in the arena now.
New game again.
Daryl's got the
You want me to talk to the
in his hand. So now
tournament director?
Yeah.
You want to call for him? A meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Francisco is insisting on a meeting with the tournament director.
Yeah, he's still not happy with that decision.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to. Well, okay. Well, that's. Do you want me to call the tournament director? Yeah. Okay.
Francisco Bustamante
He's just asked for the tournament director, so I'm going to have to stop it now.
he's not happy about the whole decision here, and he wants to call a meeting with the tournament director. This is very unusual.
Well, never seen anything like
Okay, so
this.
which we've had to stop it.
I've been involved in Q Sports for a number of years, and once a decision is made, a decision is made, and it's never overturned.
Well, here's something you never thought you'd hear in a pool tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, play is suspended. Amazing scenes. 10-9, Bustamante on the hill, and all sorts of controversy. We're going to take a short break, try and sort this out, clear our own heads. Here at the Araneta Arena. But while that is suspended, awaiting an official adjudication, let's go and check out Table 2, where Mika Immonen and Vilmos Foldes have been involved in an all-European affair. And Immonen, the only former champion to make it through to the last 8, is about to go out to this man, Vilmos Foldes, on the hill.
Yeah, both very experienced competitors.
Well, the form guide says Mika Immonen wins this one. The scoreline says Mika Immonen is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, Vilmos Folders had a great competition so far. He's put out the current US Open champion Shane Van Boeing 10-8. So he's certainly playing well himself. But Mika in trouble here.
Oh, you can't have a dry break. Oh no, he hasn't got one, has he? Oh, he has. Oh, he has.
And look at that one ball.
The 7 looks certain to drop.
Yeah, here we see it again. If you watch the 7 ball come back up table with a spin on it, and you think for a second that was just going to spin into the pocket, but he just caught the knuckle and just sat there and has given Folders a good opportunity. You can see from the table layout there, I'd say the pink 4 is the only awkward ball to go on to. Just be playing running English with this one.
Oh, how about this for Vilmos Folders? What a situation he finds himself in. Folders, who, as you say, dispatched Shane Van Boening, the great hope of the United States. Tremendous result right there.
And this is his best ever achievement at World Championships. He got to the last 16 stage 2 seasons ago. So this is new ground for him. And I was speaking to him earlier on in the week, Nick, and he was feeling very confident in his game.
And why not?
And he says he's just going to be playing his game and not matter about his opponent. And that's the correct attitude to take to a table. Just needs to compose himself here if he gets good shape on this pink 4 on the right hand side. And that's not bad at that.
This doesn't look good for Mika Immonen.
No, with that brown 7 been over the top left hand corner pocket is an easy combination. And the cue ball will be tracking up table towards that orange 5 as you see it on your screen. Just composing himself. He knows how important this shot could be.
It's funny, isn't it? It's always that last rack.
Yeah,
That's the one
they're always the hardest ones to get.
When the balls suddenly get big and the pockets suddenly get real small and the adrenaline is pumping around like crazy.
Yeah, his heartbeat will be going 100 miles an hour at the moment.
And suddenly that cueing arm, which is so steady for you, feels like a piece of jelly.
Yep. Have you been down that road before?
And that's just with my mates.
Yeah.
Never mind with a place in the semi-final of the World Championship.
Oh, and he's in perfect position there. I really can't see Vilmos messing up on this occasion. Just needs to stroke that cue ball off one rail back out to the middle of the table for the green 6. Just needs to hold himself together here for another fine victory. He could be the first man through to the semi-finals of this year's championship.
Just 2 balls away. Mika Immonen's attempt at a second world title looks destined to come up short at the quarter-final stages. Is this the day of the underdog, I wonder? Vilmos Folders, very capable, but wasn't expected to do this. He's dumped Mika Immonen out of the competition. Hungary represented in the final 4 at the World Pool Championship. Who would have believed that a week ago?
Yeah, terrific result here for Folders.
Confirmation that Vilmos is the first man through to the final 4. But who does he face? The winner of the suspended Francisco Bustamante Daryl Peach match. Bustamante on the hill, but a foul on the 9. And the decision finally accepted.
Yeah, it was a very controversial moment we had there in the match.
Well, this one really has had everything. And I wonder how it's affected both players. I mean, this is a tough situation for Daryl Peach to have to deal with.
It certainly is. And he's just slightly out of position there. He wanted to be a little bit straighter on this one. If Daryl can just shake off everything that's happened in the past 10 minutes, just get his concentration back up on this match.
Well, what did we say at the start of this match, which seems like a lifetime ago, Pat? His great strength is his mental steadiness.
Yeah.
No highs and lows with this man.
And where's he going with that cue ball?
Hello, hello.
Oh dear.
Just when he needed to be absolutely rock solid.
He's just slightly overdone that there. He's only got a shot into this bottom corner pocket here. It's a tough one.
If he misses, it's over.
And it's in.
Great shot. Terrific shot. Well, he's on the 50-yard line again. He still isn't out of the woods. He's got to make another good shot here.
That was a very nice shot there from Daryl under pressure. The crowd on his back a little. Needs to just compose himself again. Doesn't need to do much with this cue ball. And then it goes. And Nick, I can feel the tension in here.
You can
Never
feel
mind out there in the arena.
There's hostility all over this place. This is not a happy crowd. Daryl Peach has got to play as if he's in a telephone box, because he's playing on his own. We have a hill match in the most extraordinary match of this year's Whirlpool Championship, and possibly of any Whirlpool Championship.
Yeah, I've certainly never come across anything like this before. It was a really tough decision to make by Nigel Reese in the last frame there. And looks like Francisco has finally accepted it. He did foul on the 9. And Peach back to his usual routine there. With sandpaper going down here, we see that shot again. Where he fouls on the 9, you just see that 9 ball moving before contacting the 3, and it was a great decision by Nigel Reese.
Yeah, not only did he make the right decision, he handled it correctly. And he didn't try to steamroll with the decision past Francisco. He even let him have that meeting with the tournament director.
Yeah.
He gave Bustamante every opportunity to get that overturned. Nobody saw anything that could overturn it, and in the end Bustamante had to say, I've got to go with it.
Final rack. Daryl Peach to break.
So it brings us down to rack 21. Who would have believed it? What a match this has been.
And Daryl, the last time he broke off, he scratched that cue ball in the right hand centre pocket, so he'd be trying to avoid that at all costs here.
Thanks for the reminder, Pat. We don't want to scratch. Let's see somebody win this.
Oh, that's better cue ball.
Oh, that got a kick.
The cue ball is in a favourable position though.
There's a few people in this crowd that are not behaving themselves at the moment, and Peach has just got to pretend as best he can that he's in an empty hall.
Good cue ball control there from Daryl. Yeah, you see he's just looking where he wants to leave it for the blue 2. And adrenaline must be really flowing through his body now. Hill, quarter-final matchup. And that was a very confident stroke there.
It was, but there's still work to be done, because he's got to negotiate some traffic to get onto the 3.
Yeah, there's a big gap there, which I think he'll get through easy. Just the pace he's got to get right here.
Yeah, well played. Didn't contact any other balls. Still got work to do, though. Got to get from 3 to 4.
Yeah, every shot at this stage is a big shot, and the fans can't watch.
And to be fair to the vast majority of the Filipino fans in here as well, they're playing this straight.
It's just a little bit closer and straighter than it would have liked. And Shirley's like this during all my matches. Tension. She's not the one in best.
It's just been one of those matches, hasn't it?
I know.
You've watched routine pots from both men and wondered what's coming next. But look at this. Look how clear the table suddenly looks. Can Daryl Peach pull off a miracle escape? And it's not an easy clean-up.
There's 3 supporters there, hoping he does it. And I think after this match, if he does see out these 4 balls, you'll see old Daryl's emotions coming out.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He's got work to do. But if he can get from the 7 to the 8...
Yeah, he just wants to be drawing the cue ball back over to the left-hand side of the table here. Leave an easy long shot on the 8. And I say easy. It would be easy for me in this. From where we're watching, it's easy. But being out there, Nick.
You wouldn't want to be there, would you? There aren't many that would want to be in Daryl Peach's position right now. Well, I suppose there are in the sense that you've got the destiny, but what a situation. What a match. And I wonder what his reaction is going to be if he ends up on the losing side of this. Will he accept it with grace? It's been a very tetchy affair right from the off with Bustamante today. And now he's got reasons for grievances, or that's how he'll see it. 2 to go. The 8's gone. It's a long 9.
Just come back to his chair to compose himself, get his little rag, cue it down so it's smooth.
They can't look.
They don't want to look at this one, they just want to hear that ball falling in the pocket. And if Daryl wins this match here, we'll have a European in the final. First for many a year.
This match has had so much. Have we got something in the very last shot of the match? Oof. This for a place in the semi-final of the World Pool Championship. He's nailed it. He nailed it. It's not gone down well here. Bustamante gives a shake of the hand, but nobody can blame Daryl Peach for this. That was the good call on the 9 ball, and Peach kept his game together to take full advantage and come back from beyond the grave. He looked like he was out. What bulldog spirit, lucky mascot, call it what you like. The pool gods decided today that this was going to be the day of the underdog. Vilmos Foldes upsetting Mika Immonen, and now Daryl Peach somehow getting through against Francisco Bustamante in a match that you'll wait an awful long time before you see something with as much drama as that again. My only question is, how's Daryl going to be ready for a semi-final in a couple of hours' time?
Oh yeah, it'll be right in the clouds now. There you see the lineup. Daryl Peach, Vilmos Foldes in the first semi-finals, which will take place later this afternoon.
That's a semi-final nobody would have predicted. What a match. What drama. Georgina Chang is down on that floor with doubtless a relieved Daryl Peach.
Alright, so I've got a very emotional Daryl here. Now, the important thing to remember is that you played really well for this match, and it's still a great win, but obviously you prefer it to be under slightly different circumstances. A lot of pressure there.
It's the most pressure I've ever felt in my life. I need to just take a breath. Yeah, it was awkward. I mean, all the crowd want Francisco to win, you know, so he's a local favourite, and it was hard to... I knew it was a foul, but it was hard for the people to take, and it took a lot of time to resolve, the issue, and I just can't. I honestly, my arms just fell off. I can't believe I've finished the match off there.
But you finished it in a very convincing manner, and obviously now, I mean, like I said, it's still a good win. And you've beaten Ronnie Alcano, you've beaten Francisco Bustamante, and now you're in your first semi-final, so that's something really positive to look forward to. You must be feeling a lot of confidence.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling brilliant, to be honest. First Englishman ever, or first Briton to get to the semi-final in the World Championships. It's massive. It's like what dreams are made of, I don't know what to say, really.
All right, we've got some time before the semi-final, so have a good rest, compose yourself, and we'll see you soon, and, all the best again.
Thanks very much, I appreciate it.
Back to you, Uday.
Thank you, Georgina. So obviously a very emotional Daryl Peach there. Now, we were standing here live watching it from up top from our precarious perch, and it was a very precarious shot. And our initial instinct was that the white ball did hit the number 9 ball first, right?
Yes, when we took a look at it from our angle, we already saw that it looked like a foul. I spoke to Nigel Rees immediately after that incident because there was a whole incident. People were talking about it. I had the opportunity to talk to Nigel, and Nigel was telling me, look, if we have the opportunity to consult the TV replay, which we did in this particular instance, he said, I don't want to make a decision that could eventually be wrong. And so that's exactly what happened there in that particular situation. And you have to respect him for that. You have to respect him for that because he didn't want to make a decision which could be so crucial. It was definitely a big call, probably the biggest call in the tournament here so far, but he made the decision. And you watch it once again. You take a look at it, and the 9 actually was the first ball hit. They looked at it so many different times. They look at it at so many different angles. And bottom line is,
we watched it at super slow-mo speed, and you can tell from here. Pat, you were calling this game. What did you see from inside the booth?
I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it was a simultaneous hit. But when you see in the different camera angles we've got there, it was definitely a 9 ball first.
You know, plain and simply put, people will just have to accept the fact that they made the right call. It's not something the Filipinos may want to accept, but they'll have to accept it because it was the right call.
Okay, let's hear what the match referee has to say. He's standing by with Georgina Chang.
All right, well, Nigel, obviously this is one of the toughest situations, making a foul call against a big local favorite with all the fans, who obviously, want you to make a call in their favor. So can you explain that process of how you arrived at the call?
Well, he was playing a kick shot off a rail. He was going to, I think it was a 3 ball if I remember right. The 9 ball was right next to it, so my eyes were on those 2 balls. Obviously if it's 9 first, it's a foul. It was, it was tough. My gut reaction straight away was, I think it was a foul. But at this point, we had the benefit of the replays, so just held everything back. Went to the replays quite a while, actually. Looked at the replays with the tournament director and the head referee as well, and the call I made in the stands, it was a foul. It just caught the 9 before the 3, and in this game it's a foul, unfortunately. It's a tough call to make, and the fans are behind Busty, and and Busty's a great person, but that's the rules. You've got to make the call. So I know upset a lot of people and a lot of fans, but you have to make the right call. It could have been the other way around or anything. Whoever made that shot, that's the call I'd have made anyway, no matter what.
Absolutely, and that's why it's so tough being a referee sometimes. Back to you, Uday.
So obviously a very tough call to make, but he was put on the spot and he made the right decision.
Yes, he made the right decision, and pool is following just like other sports are doing. In basketball they do that, in American football they do that. It's because people have the benefit now of a television replay. So why not use that to your advantage? Yeah. And Nigel said, look, when I saw it, it was very close. I didn't want to make the wrong call, and eventually it just might get overturned. So now we have the benefit of the TV replay. I took advantage of that and I made the right call, plain and simply put. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, certainly, that's what I spoke about in the commentary. I mean, if it wasn't for all the good camera angles, it would have been a very tough call there for Nigel, because when I first seen it, I wouldn't have been able to call it. So, I mean, he'd done the right thing. He says, let's hold back, let's have a look at all the camera angles. And when they get everybody involved, you could see he was 100% correct in giving a foul. So
now, let me just put this out there. What if we did not have the advantage of television replays? Would his initial instinct would have been to avoid the match to Francisco Bustamante?
No. Immediately after he saw that, he knew his personal opinion was a foul.
Yeah.
But then he didn't want to make the call immediately because he wanted to make sure when he comes up with a decision, it's the right one and it's the one that sticks.
Right. Okay. We'll have more coming up after the break. Stay with us. We'll be back with the 2007 World Pool Championship after this short commercial break.